I cannot believe this. Tom Thibodeau has finally revealed the truth on his coaching style and spoken out on the heavy minutes that he gives to all of his starting players, which has a lot of fans concerned. And outside of that, he also spoke out on why he played the New York Knicks star big man after instantly getting a knee injury. And it's an absolutely ridiculous reason that we're going to break down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things today. We have a lot to talk about. And guys, if you're enjoying the content and are part of that 69%, make sure to subscribe. It's really the best place for Knicks content. We have a bunch of fun here. You don't want to miss out. But let's jump into the video because Tom Thibodeau has finally revealed the truth on why he plays his teams such heavy minutes. Now, obviously, this has been the long-standing really stigma about Tom Thibodeau, that what he does is he plays his starters and burns them out because he plays them so many minutes. Now, Tibbs has never given a straight answer on this, even though it's been brought up a bunch. And then in an interview with Stefan Bondy recently, he revealed the truth on why he plays these guys so many minutes. And he said, we've got to have lineups that are strong on both sides of the ball. And then, can your guys handle the minutes? There's different minutes over the course of the game. If you look at Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, their minutes are what other players are. Other main players, that being. And he's not wrong. That's very true. That Tom Thibodeau does play the star players in Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns very similar minutes to any other stars in basketball. I mean, Tyrese Maxey plays 38 minutes a game. He's the best player on the 76ers. You see Anthony Edwards playing super high minutes. He's the best player on the Timberwolves. You see Jalen Brunson playing heavy minutes. He's the best player on the Knicks. You see big men, the best big men in the league, play the most minutes, like Karl-Anthony Towns. All that stuff makes sense. What doesn't make sense is why Thibodeau refuses to ever sit Josh Hart or Mikal Bridges. Now, the short answer is Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges like playing the heavy minutes. Obviously, they do. They're basketball players. They don't want to sit. Josh Hart has even said that. He's like, when you're in the NBA, you don't want to come out and be on the bench. You want to play. So that makes perfect sense. But you can't just let the players stay in there, because when you're a professional athlete and you're in the heat of the moment, when you're an athlete in general in the heat of the moment, you're not thinking straight. You're thinking in the now, and that's just how it's going to be because all the adrenaline of everything. And Tom Thibodeau has no problem leaving his guys in there endlessly, and clearly it has fans fired up. A lot of fans recently, especially after that loss against the Boston Celtics, have been calling for Tom Thibodeau's job. There's just been a lot going on with Tom Thibodeau, and, well, it's more than just the minutes concern. It's the drop coverage that's not working. I mean, the Knicks are just allowing teams to absolutely run them up on pick and rolls, and part of that is Karl-Anthony Towns playing defense, and he's not a good defender down low. And the Knicks, once they get Mitchell Robinson back, that'll be a lot of help. Mitchell Robinson is excellent at being the big man defending on screens because he's very good at kind of covering that middle space where he can go backwards and prevent something and also go forwards and block a shot or contest. And especially with Towns being the secondary big man, he's good on the help as well. So that will definitely help the Knicks pick and roll a lot by having Mitchell Robinson back. We've talked about Mitchell Robinson enough over the last month or so that we don't really need to go into any more Mitchell Robinson discussion as much as I love to, because Mitchell Robinson is the man. However, this video is about Tom Thibodeau. This is about Tibbs, and that was Mitch shooting a free throw. I hit the wrong button. But this is about Tom Thibodeau and just the fact that he's playing just too many minutes for these guys. We all know this, and we know the minutes police thing, and the players are not wrong, but Tom Thibodeau is wrong for the minutes he's playing these guys because there's been injury concerns. I mean, Tibbs said the wings are different. OG's at 36 minutes, which is the highest of his career. Mikal Bridges is the highest, and Josh Hart's are high as well. Both these guys can handle minutes, and they want the minutes. If they can handle the minutes, give it to them. If they can't, cut it back. And what Tibbs is saying is they can handle it. Now, here's the one interesting tidbit about this. Josh and Mikal, I mean, Josh is having an excellent season, having the best season of his NBA career. Mikal Bridges has been really inconsistent this season. I'm not going to be part of that hive that say, I can't believe we gave up 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges. First of all, a lot of those picks weren't that valuable. Let me just say it. The Knicks were trading picks that were going to be in the late 20s. They weren't acquiring Luka like the Lakers did. They're not acquiring Giannis for 5 picks that 4 of them are going to be in the 20s for. I think people are forgetting that. The one really valuable first-round pick that they traded was the 2031 first-round pick. And if the Knicks just continue to stay good, that pick's not going to be valuable anyway. Would I trade 5 picks in the 20s for Mikal Bridges again? Absolutely no shadow of a doubt I would. But he has been inconsistent this season. Recently, he's not been playing well, and it's definitely gotten fans upset. And we could do a video on that. Let me know in the comments down below if you want us to break that down. But maybe cut his minutes back a little bit. Maybe that'll help. It could, and Mikal needs to find some consistency. You got to change something up. It'll probably help him. It's something that they should definitely consider doing. It just makes a ton of sense for the Knicks to go out there and kind of cool down Mikal's minutes, but I don't think Tibbs is going to do that. Now, other teams have been successful with playing their guys light minutes, and as Stephen Bondy mentioned, just 2 Cleveland players, and Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, average more than 30 minutes per game, and none average more than 31.2. By contrast, all the Knicks starters average at least 34.9 minutes per game. 3 of them in Brunson, Hart, and Bridges were in the top 4 in total minutes played heading into Saturday's game. So, obviously, that's a problem in itself, but it is what it is, man. The Cavs are doing things really well. They have a deeper bench than the Knicks, there's no doubt about it. But the Knicks also seemingly refuse to use their bench. We've seen this time and time again. Tom Thibodeau is running an 8-man rotation. Landry Shamet played 6 minutes against the Boston Celtics and had 6 points and looked really good on defense as well, had a positive plus-minus. Yet for some reason, somehow, some way, Tibbs decided that's enough. No more Landry Shamet all night, which was absolutely absurd. It wasn't the craziest thing that happened this game, and we'll get into that. Deuce McBride didn't shoot well, but he does play well. He affects the Knicks positively and should be getting more minutes, and the Knicks should experiment with starting Deuce. On top of that, Precious Achiuwa has been inconsistent, but he's a good defender. Cameron Payne, been solid as well. They have enough of a solid bench that once Mitchell Robinson comes back, things should be helped out. Something that would help their bench out is just playing Ariel Hukporti, but Tibbs refuses to do that as well because Hukporti was the last pick in the draft and a rookie, so they're going to move him slowly, which does make some sense, but still, albeit frustrating if you're in the New York Knicks position. And Tibbs said, I think every team is different. If you have young guys or your depth is different, you do play with a deeper rotation. I think you always begin with the end in mind as the playoffs. He means, what are you going to need in the end? There are different schools of thought. The Cavs are running their race. We're going to run our race, and every team is different. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. What fits your team best, and along with that, you have to win games as you go along, which is just Tom Thibodeau effectively saying, yeah, I don't think the bench is very good, so I'm not playing them. It's not a great bench by any means. They're last in points per game, and one of the reasons is they're also last in minutes per game. But he's not wrong that the bench is not great. There's not really much shot creation going on with the bench, and well, they should run Mikal Bridges more with the bench unit because Mikal's better in that role, so it would help. You just take you make Mikal the first guy to come out instead of the last guy, and you then put him in with the bench unit and have him lead the bench unit in scoring. That's what they should have been doing all season. It's what would work the best for everyone. However, the Knicks have been yet to do that yet and yet to experiment with that. So it just feels like Tom Thibodeau refuses to change his mind on something. Like he's just stubborn and he is refusing to give Landry Shamet minutes after playing well, and he's refusing to give Pacome Dadier minutes under any circumstances, and Ariel Hukporti, the same thing, where it's getting very frustrating as a Knicks fan. We all know this. This is not new news. It's very upsetting. Now, as Tibbs mentioned, New York is in a separate... This is also not Tibbs. This is Stephen Bondy, but there's the wrong tag at the bottom. New York is in a separate class with the lowest bench production in the NBA, a place it has occupied all season. The issue wasn't addressed at the trade deadline, with the front office choosing to stand pat while Mitchell Robinson will hopefully add a boost from his eventual return. Now, I know we said we were done talking about Mitch, but real quick, Mitch is expected to return this week. It should help the bench because they should have a 9-man rotation then. You should be able to play Mikal more with the bench. It should lead to some more scoring. But at the end of the day, it's still very concerning. Mitchell Robinson also will start some games. He'll move Josh Hart to the bench, and that'll have its own effect as well, so we'll see how that works. There's a lot going on with the Knicks right now, and Mitchell Robinson's return is going to be a huge reason to look at things. Mitch solves so many problems for the Knicks because everything on their defensive issues does stem from the lack of big man defense production. I mean, the Knicks, their defensive ratings since Tibbs was hired, they were 3rd, then 11th, then 19th, and 2023, and then got down to 10th in 2024, and now this year they're 22nd. Knicks Beast asked, what's changed? Not having Mitchell Robinson, and it's not having Mitch. That's why they're 22nd. It's pretty simple. But yeah, that's clearly an issue as well. And Knicks fans, they are furious at Tom Thibodeau, and they're rightfully so. And the real reason why they're furious at Tom Thibodeau is because of Karl Anthony Towns getting back in that game against the Boston Celtics after going down with a knee injury. As Tommy Beer mentions, Towns in the first year of a 4-year, $220 million extension He'll earn $53 million next year, $57 the following year, and $61 the year after. It's a guaranteed contract, the largest in Knicks franchise history. New York's on the hook, whether he's healthy or not. Tibbs sending Cat back into the regular season game in February of 2025 when New York is down 20 with less than 4 minutes to go remaining. And Towns had just crumpled to the bench with the knee pain, where he's literally lying down on the bench in pain, and then Tibbs sends him back in the game. It was absolutely ridiculous to see. Towns went down with a knee injury, and then 2 minutes later, the man's back on the court. The Knicks had lost the game. We all knew the game was over by then, but for some reason, Tibbs put Towns back in, and Tibbs actually revealed that reason. Cat said he was fine. He said he was fine. That's not his decision. That is yours as the head coach to not let a player play injured. I get it. Cat said he's fine. He was limping up and down the court, dude, and you put him back in. Like, fans should be upset at Tibbs for this. It was reckless. It was stupid. It was weird. It was pointless. They could have just played Huckporty, but no. They put Towns back in. Tibbs puts Towns back in when Towns is hurt. And also, Towns had also played a ton of minutes that night, finishing the game with 41 minutes. The final 3 of those, he was dragging his leg because he just hurt his knee. And then Tibbs is like, well, he said he was fine, so I put him back in. There was no need for that. There was no reason for that. Fans should be upset with Tibbs. Look at these comments. People are furious at Tibbs for doing that. Like, it's insane. Thibodeau, clearly, there's something going on here. I think everyone kind of agrees that there has to be the discussion on should Tom Thibodeau be back as the Knicks head coach next year. I'll say this, I expect him to be. I do think he will be, unless the Knicks lose in the first round. I don't think the Knicks are going to lose in the first round. I think there's a lot of negativity surrounding the Knicks because they've lost a few games to the Cavs and Celtics. Yes, they did. Those teams are really good, and the Knicks weren't fully healthy. Is that on Thibodeau? Not the Mitchell Robinson injury. I don't think the Knicks are losing in the first round, guys. Do I think they're losing in the second round to the Celtics? Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be a 5-game series. I think the Knicks are going to lose, and it's going to be really unfortunate. We're all going to feel sick to our stomachs about it, and then we're just going to probably blame Tibbs anyway, and potentially rightfully so if there's injuries or if he's just coaching poorly with that drop coverage that's not working because you don't have rim protection, but Tibbs just acts like they do anyway. Hopefully Mitchell Robinson solves that problem, but I think Knicks fans should be upset at Tom Thibodeau. He's rightfully so under fire. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Knicks.